Op 4, last stop standing. Biohazard container. Friendly's victorious. Hostile delivery.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another thing of work stories. So this time I'm going to tell about my very first day at work from a year and 4 months ago, and about a couple months ago when somebody accused the entire restaurant while I was on shift of being involved in a $20,000 ring robbery that actually never happened. Let's get right into the story. So, my first day at work was, by the way, this is my first job I've ever had, and I also haven't been fired or quit. And I've been here for a year and 4 months, as I said earlier. So, a nice little lag spike right there. Obviously, I'm a veteran compared to everybody else there. This story is a huge example that's constantly used. So like I've said before, I work in a restaurant. What a save that was right there. Obviously, like I said, I work in a restaurant. This was my first job. So I didn't have any idea really what to do. And at the time when this happened, I was that really, really quiet kid. Like I didn't talk to anyone. My manager, even though I was eerily quiet, he wanted to keep me around because I did the job better than like all the veterans, and I had been here for like a week at the time. You know, I didn't really know how to prepare for the job. I didn't know what I would need or any of that crap. So I didn't really have much anything when I started. I just went into work with normal shoes, thinking that would be enough. And I went in, and it was my first day, and I got shown how to bus, clean the tables, all that crap. I was good to go. And while I was taking plates into the kitchen one day, or at one point in the night, first thing I do, since I didn't have on non-slick shoes, going right into the kitchen, is obviously I slipped and fell right on my ass. And this is an example that is still used today for why you need non-slick shoes at this job. After that, I didn't think much of it. I was like, okay, you know, just learn my lesson. I have no need to, you know, fall again. I don't have to waste money on non-slick shoes. So I just keep walking. 10 minutes later, got another big stack of plates. You know, first time sound like World War III right at the front of the kitchen. What did I do this time? Yet again, slipped and fell. Except this time I didn't just fall on my ass. I fell right on my tailbone. I crashed on my tailbone. That was actually my nickname for the longest time, was Crash, because my manager thought it was the funniest shit to happen. But anyways, so after that, after I became Crash right there, I literally felt like a crippled old person for about 2 months. That's how bad I landed on my tailbone. It fucking hurt. Hurt really fucking bad. I was basically limping all the time. I was in so much pain. It did heal, and now I obviously feel no pain walking, but for a while it was hell. It was fucking hell. So after that happened, obviously, guess what the first thing I did was the very next day? I obviously went to the store. I bought me some damn non-slick shoes. Very first thing I did. And so, you know, that's kind of the end of that story. But some of the examples that have been used for why you need non-slick shoes at this job is, we had a work meeting that everybody was required to go to like a week or two ago. And we were all there, obviously, otherwise they would have gotten fired or whatever our manager was planning on doing. And one of the topics that we were talking about was the importance of non-slick shoes at this job. What does my head manager do? Looks at me and goes, "CHANKA, how many times did you fall and slip on your ass?" We got the district manager right here too. You know, it's like 11 o'clock at night, everybody's wanting to go out and party and shit, so it's kind of, you know, I hate being put in the spotlight, but I had this cute girl right across the aisle from me. I was like, oh shit, I'm just that cool. So I put both two fingers up to show that. He's like, what was the thing you did the next day? I was like, I bought me some non-slick shoes. And yeah, I thought it was the funniest damn thing that happened there. But that's the end of that story. Here's my second story. Probably the one that caught your attention the most is when we were all accused of being thieves. Basically, this story was, it was just a normal morning rush that we were in. And I didn't think anything was going to happen. I thought it was just, a normal rush, like I said. I don't know. It was like around noon was when this happened. We had this little bitch manager named Chris, who, oh my god, Chris was like legit the bitch of the squad. He didn't work here anymore. He finally went to a different location. I just remember being in the middle of the rush, I saw like a police officer talking to Chris, and Chris is like about to shit his pants. And I'm not even joking, Chris literally sounds like this, and he was like, the officer was asking him questions. He was like, I don't know what was going on, man. I was just doing my job. Whatever Chris said. Then the officer went on to one of my teammates on register, started questioning him. He didn't really get much out of him. And then after that, he pulled Chris outside, basically made Chris undress, and it was 30 degrees out, and so Chris was bitching about it for the longest time, and everybody was just talking about how Chris should have stood up for himself and not been a bitch. And Chris was like, well, I didn't want to get arrested, or yeah, all that shit. Finally, when the officer went out, I guess what ended up happening was some stupid bitch came in to order food, and she lost her wedding ring that was worth $20,000. So she came back to the store and said that one of us stole it, and that everybody on shift was taking part in the heist and to cover up for the person who stole it, and that we were all a bunch of crooks and criminals. And the officer believes her for some reason. So I was like, what the fuck? And so later that night, 4, I heard the police were coming back. I'm like, oh shit, I'm like a wanted criminal basically. And I didn't have anything to do with this, so I'm gonna get the fuck out of here as soon as I can. I just remember I saw the officer come in. I saw the police car pull up. My manager's like, Chanka, you could go home. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I just put my sweatshirt on and dipped the fuck out. Yeah, nothing happened that day. And then the next day, the crazy bitch, after she was having the police interrogate us and shit for 20 minutes to try and figure out who stole it. I guess what actually ended up happening was the chick was retarded and came to a restaurant to eat. Duh, I wonder what else she would come here for, play fucking arcade games. She came in, she ordered food. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, this freaking moron took her ring off, her wedding ring off, that was valued at $20,000, and left it on the counter. So some guy who couldn't find his ring, which it turned out to be in his pocket, looked pretty similar to his, and he thought it was his. So naturally he's like, okay, I'm gonna, just grab my wedding ring and bring it to my wife, or whatever. I don't remember exactly how he found his or what happened to his. But so the next day, that guy comes back and goes, hey, this wedding ring I picked up on the counter, it turns out it wasn't mine like I thought it was, so I'm just gonna return it. We gave it back to the bitch. The bitch was still being a total bitch to us over it and saying we were still thieves or something, or we were shady as hell or whatever. Hey, bitch, we were trying to help you get your $20,000 ring back because your dumbass left it on the counter in a public space and then blamed the employees for taking it. But yeah, obviously nothing happened, but I was scared shitless that night, 'cause I was like, I'm just here to get paid. I'm not getting arrested for something I didn't do. And yeah, it was a crazy experience. That's probably my craziest. We've had plenty of crazy people, like I told you about the last time, that one dude who accused me of discriminating against fat people over a pack of mayo, that guy was the craziest son of a bitch. But this chick by far has to be one of the craziest people I've ever seen in a restaurant. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, and you guys have an amazing day.